only 48 hours before the axe fell.
Good to go?
This was Sajid Javid's last set of interviews as Chancellor. And was there a hint there about the root cause of his downfall?
It's absolutely right that we have these fiscal rules because these ensure that we keep public finances under control. But what it means is that every time we think about spending more, that we're going to have to think very carefully about how we're going to finance it.
Insiders say it was those fiscal rules, that attitude that spending needed to be kept in check, that put him in the Prime Minister's sights ahead of this reshuffle. But his decision will have consequences for all of us.
Take a view as to what the Prime Minister wants to do and think to yourself, they're determined to try and carry those things out. And it reminds me yet again of the first Conservative administration that Mrs Thatcher had, and the phrase that went around in those times was there is no alternative, and it sounds very much like we're back to that again today.
Indeed, this is hardly the first time an occupant of number 10 has fallen out with their next-door neighbour. Margaret Thatcher went through 3 of them.
Where is he?
Everyone remembers Brown versus Blair. If anything, the surprising thing is it's been so long since a Chancellor did take a fall.
There is nothing new about tensions between number 10 and this place. And it's not just about personalities, it's about what they stand for. The Prime Minister is all about splurging, spending more, and the Treasury is all about keeping that spending in check. The big question now is whether there is an economic shift, whether this power grab, as one of Sajid Javid's advisors described it to me, makes a serious difference to next month's budget.
And the verdict from investors in the market is yes. In anticipation of more spending and borrowing, the interest rate on UK government debt rose in the hours after Mr Javid resigned. Not a massive increase, but it does mean, ironically, that if the new Chancellor wants to borrow and spend more, that debt will be more expensive. And more spending and more borrowing may mean higher inflation, which could mean the next big battle could be between Downing Street and this place, the Bank of England, whose new governor, Andrew Bailey, hasn't even started yet. Many Prime Ministers have attempted to neutralise the Treasury. Many have hoped that they would fulfil the destiny of those words on the letterbox of number 10. The big question now is whether Boris Johnson will succeed and what that means for the rest of us. Ed Conway, Sky News.